Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as it pointing the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend, just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. In the calamity. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. And then he falls to his death. I'm just fooling. An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do. Kid's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink. Kid finds a memento from a girl he knew. Always used to fancy her. A school of squirts tunnels up around him. He sets foot inside one of Celandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him for his drinking bit. Rondi always wanted his ashes scattered here. Then Kid finds his trusty shield. But just as he's getting a handle on it, the security takes him for a petty thief. Special delivery. Gas fellas. Windbags start turning up for last call. More squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid. Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop. He gets a good look at things on his way down. He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke. Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land. Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. He finds the distillery, right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man. The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job. Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. Robs a scumbag of his last meal. Kid puts him out of his misery. He finds the core to the Wharf District. He steals the city's heart. Might as well. Well, down he goes. Down toward the Bastion. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. We talk for a spell. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest. Enough to point the way to the cores. All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there, then watch. I try to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, all right, except no one else showed up. And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again, growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. The Bastion ain't gonna build itself. Well, not entirely. Kid ponders what to build. The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to. A repeater goes with a hammer better than a box of nails. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. He's feeling real proud of that show. I almost don't believe it when he says he passed the Breaker's challenge. Ain't always much to say. The Skyway. Now the kid can ride the wind to distant lands. Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? He heads for the Squirt Steps. Won't be no field trip this time. Scumbag can digest just about anything. Except for this. It's quick for slicing and light enough to throw. They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. Squirts don't make the best of friends, but they can be useful in a pinch. No sign of the core here. At least the kid got something for his trouble. Them squirts just don't know when to quit. Up north is where the gas fella foreman used to live, tending to his flock. And there it is. But it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. The blustery old foreman's keeping his fellas in check, almost like he's showboating for the crowd. Now there's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan. It's too tough to fall. Might as well check the other side streets before leaving this hole. He heads for the east side, where windbags used to keep the local forge. Somehow that old forge is still standing. Inside the forge, Key can fine-tune those instruments of his. With a good length of meat-gut, that bow's like new again. Odd place to find the likes of Percy the Snitch. Never much cared for that big wide grin of his. He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack. The monument's calling for it. Sometimes a single look says it all. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. A lot of things need fixing up in this world, and we can start right here. Picked up traces of other cores while the kid was out. Couples used to walk the Sundown Path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though. But then, somebody gets to the core before the kid. The floor starts giving way under the lightest step. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. Fragments of the old world rain from the sky. Well, the path ain't exactly open to visitors no more. Security's all fired up. See, the path was intended for leisurely strolling and such. Sky bridges link the path together. One of them bridges whips the kid along. Finds a spyglass, like the ones they used to search the stars. Air travel always was an iffy proposition. Quick and careful's the only way to go. The calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we can do it again. But the question is, who else could have taken the core? Well, ain't no survivor stole the thing. Scumbag ate it by mistake. Tough break. Unlike the kid, that core ain't coming back. No, they used to ship live munitions down the path. These wires to toss those things plenty far away. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky. In all this toil, kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the calamity? So he didn't find the core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. Kid packs a special surprise in every one of those arrows. In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt. Of all the plans to survive the calamity, it had to be stab weeds. Blasted things hurt like a broken heart. If there's a core, he figures it ought to be deeper down. Core's stuck inside one of those fancy cages. Some of the stuff lying around is downright dangerous. He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow. All Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Not every squirt's born bad. Some spring to the Kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take kindly to interlopers. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Heard it pop that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30, hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. Troublesome scene to be sure. It ain't all bad, as the Kid finds some spicy from one land, tax-free. A few moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge. I still remember the look on his face after that one. The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. We could always see the stars, we just never could reach them, no matter how high we built. Folks voyaged across the boundless sea to found Caelondia. It was good living here for a while. Turns out those old bones still have some spark in them. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply. Hearty punch is so zesty, it'll let you carry on through the worst of times. The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. You don't much care to see him. Not like this. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. Just ain't got time for answers. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nordy the bird boy didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? The core survived as well. Kid does what he has to do. What do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go. Please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zulf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other, for the first time. For Zulf, Caelondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. Zulf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. He was born in the Tazal Terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. The cores. They remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright. Well, look what we have here. The lost and found. Here, kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again. All it takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pyth, Bull, Pyth Orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the Orchard core is long gone too. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Pyth stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. Pyth makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Then Pyth lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his hide. Kid breaks him to bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods? Or tell them off? Kid don't need favors from the likes of Pyth. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Popping windbags is hard enough. No need to get the gods involved. Kid ain't found a core, but at least he found Zulf's precious shrine. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. The little Zolwood oil and that blade shines like a light. There's only one way to Cinderbrick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. The calamity was mercy, normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze, or starve, or face the kid. But windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Good thing the windbags don't know the kid's fresh out of health tonics. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. The calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Could have been minding the business underground like in the old days. Windbags can't use the marshal supplies, but the kid sure can. He stashes the marshal's prize. Goes back to something more his style. Cinderbrick gave him enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. Kid's stash of grenades is there for him if things get even worse. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. They trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds. Scumbag uncles. Kid takes down Glutus. Maybe it was planned. They got something to gain, and only their sorry hides to lose. other big fella soon joins his brother, wherever they are now. The windbags finally get the message. Kid used to dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that, and now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Zulf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zulf was a smoking pipe. The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zulf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. The repeater and machete, favorite choices of the Ura hunters we once fought. That ought to make those fangs sink in nice and deep. Dread rum's brewed from swamp weeds, so its effect is as bold as its flavor. Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. Behold, the Pantheon. The Langston River flowed free and wild till the Calamity drank it all up. Maybe all that water just grew wings and flew off. Riverbanks swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. Weepin' Nellie. She'll send some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. The security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. They try to knock her out. Well, Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. At least she picked a good spot for a break, 'cause the core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound. Like 100 flapping wings. Peckers. They had their own eyes on the core. But why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. Finds Weepin' Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. She's gonna need a little help with all them peckers. Crafty things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. Security skiffs keep on coming starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. The windbags getting even better idea. They aim to smash Weepin' Nellie to splinters. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nellie. She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nellie gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in Pecker country. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoes them off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? A good couple of times. Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. The city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? The other kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? Yeah, that's the one. Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes. They'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow Ura again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. War machetes are so quick, you gotta keep a good grip on them. Where whiskey has no scent, but tastes like a peppered boot heel, it's not for everyone. The memorial, where a kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction, just another one of my sketches, nothing more. Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. Kid says hello, but Zolf's lost in thought. Most of the Ura never got a taste of Caelandia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see, but leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? So many secrets in there and she can't even read it, her father's own journal. We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds. That's the edge of the wilds, where Jawson and his boys disappeared. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. Know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having two. Savage things lurking at every turn. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon. They shouldn't have let their guard down. The core's right there. Itching to come home. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Wallflowers survived the Calamity. It toughened him up. Same goes for the kid. By now, kid's got more needles in him than a stab weed. Slinger Jawson's old outpost is all that's left of him. Kid sticks to his old standbys. A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far. Don't ever turn your back on a pincushion. Pow gives a wallflower a taste of its own medicine. Kid's roused up half the wilds by now. Then Kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. Hit him anywhere but the hindquarters and you only make him mad. He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zulf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zulf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zulf leaves us here, alone. When Zulf got through reading that journal, he just snapped, started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. Zulf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me. Said he was going home. Kid ain't finished here yet. Zulf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. Well, the kid's gone and struck terror in the hearts of squirts everywhere. Gravers, the arm of justice. They seemed unstoppable. Points just don't get any sharper than that. The city brought the shards to the wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring 'em back. After Zolf's little episode, kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad, but the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the Corps' medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good, for all I know. Wherever he is, somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go. There and welcome him with open arms. It pops him good. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. What do you say to a kid who's seen too much? I'm Zolf of the Ura. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, vine apples, swamp weeds, ankle gears. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild. Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes. He has the nerve to flash the shield he stole. The security's just a mistake. Kid succeeds where the calamity failed. Would you look at what he did to poor old Ronnie, the bartender? Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of Pyth, the bull. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's coming down too. He sees what's left undone. Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole. Bootlickers dig their nasty thorns into his heels. Disgusting things. Ever heard of a lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say. The breath on that thing, like a scumbag sprung a leak. Say one whiff of lung blossom can make you lose your mind. Well, the kid prunes it down to size somehow. Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan. No place better than Trapper's Shingle for learning to tread light and shoot straight. Trappers had to tread real careful here, else take a nasty fall. They trained themselves by clearing out the targets, while not clearing out the floor. Any good trapper knows never to take a step till the time is right. Trappers got what they needed for a better hunt. The trappers would have been impressed with how the kid handled the shingle. Now he can shoot that fang repeater all day long. Roathus Lagoon. Even the brushers stopped going there. Didn't like being eaten. Roathus Lagoon. That ain't the sort of place you'd want to go by choice. Many a tale folks use to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts what don't know up from down, still lurking about. Even the brushers learned to fear this place. They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. Most of those peckers are smart enough to stay out of Queen Anne's way. Those pincushions been living off the ankle gator scraps. Queenie leaves the kid into some kind of twisted trap. Still no sign of the shard. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. Well, the brusher's way ain't really his style. He holds his ground. Seems the queen's running out of options. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. That old gator's right on his tail. That's ankle gator country for you. Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Seems even stinkweeds know to stay away from the queen. Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait. The shard's sitting in plain view. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. She's starting to get annoyed. Kid's done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel. That gator's a crazy gal, but so's the gal who promised to look after her. They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't. Squirt cider will toughen you right up. Too bad about the musty aftertaste. All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds. Know how Caelondia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaign. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. The army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Point Lemaign seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaign, not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. The grand rail's all grown over with things of calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Kid don't let so much as one of those things slip by. Settled in like they own the place. Caelondia lost many good men on the rail. Takes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers coughing fungus everywhere. Place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple. Of course, the Grand Rail's seen much more fighting in bygone times. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Urzendra War. It was right here that Zulf's forefathers decided to mix it up. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Wiggle room up there near the rail. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While choking on swamp weed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. Then, at last, it's the end of the line. He'll be picking swamp weed out of those boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not just another wallflower or pincushion like you. first he thinks it's Zulf. "This is for you," says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone, but something else is there. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf. Zulf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zulf told him. It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. Live wine so rich, they say it's brought men back from the brink for one last taste. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Coldford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt. So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Coldford Cauldron. Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here. But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The taste of air is so hot it sticks to your lungs. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. It's awful hot in there. You can cook those things, but you can't eat them. The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found. Place as inhospitable as they come. But still we pressed on. After all, when we looked down inside Coldford Cauldron, looked down through all the smoke and flames, we saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Jawson Bog. Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him. Sure, it ain't the most convenient path. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen is waiting for him on the other side. Pops open on him like a pimple on a school day. And where there's one stink eye, there's always more. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. The kid don't shed any tears for him, though. With a good spyglass, he can still see the cauldron from the city. But all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it. He comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head. I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this. What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once. We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zand. Can't rightly call Mount Zand a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. So they figure they'll hold out right here, on a slab of mountain the Calamity forgot. Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find. We only found that little lair because they found themselves a little shard. Good thing for those beasts the Calamity saved leftovers. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. It's a delicate situation. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. There's only one kind of mercy left these days. What the city left behind, those beasts took for themselves. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our Bastion is everybody's game, not just ours. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square. Zand go all out. You don't need to keep tangling with all those things. We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. Fixed that thing right up, didn't we? Made these goings-on a little livelier. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances. Suppose it's true a little song can put things in perspective. Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right? The secret to how we built Caelondia so tall and proud lies in Burstone Quarry. Just takes 3 things to build the greatest city in the world. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes Burstone Quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow of the calamity. We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Same goes for its natives, Rattletails. Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit. The quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in those rocks. The quarry's secrets ain't exactly obvious. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things. No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry. The rocks were calling them. Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Rattletails kept tunneling in to snack on windbags. Without those windbags, the quarry might not have its special qualities. Windbags tended to the rocks, so we had to keep the Rattletails at bay. Now, why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Might be the gods told them the quarry's bad news. In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was a godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. A single core could keep the lights on in an entire city district. The smaller ones, we call them shards. The shards got a fraction of the core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Well, now the quarry's all dried up. These rocks are much too young to be of use. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive things stomp many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks in Burstone Quarry is Sir Lunky's head. Hard times in the quarry these days. We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. "Are you all right?" it says. It's him. "I've come to warn you," he says. "The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back." Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. "If that's the way it is," he says, "then I won't stop you. Because my countrymen will." Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. Too bad for that. They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kids gotta go in through the back. Zulf showed them the way here, and here they came to take revenge. Unfortunately, they broke in, and they started digging their hole. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away at this place. We tried to stop them, but we needed him. Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zulf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back. For the calamity. It was Caelondia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zulf knew the whole story. What were we to think? They must have got her, taken her back to her rightful home. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. Now all we need is one last shard. The mercy. The windbags ain't the only beast that drew a bad lot. The sanctuary. If we can build, we can rebuild. Finders keepers. Kids' lifelong friends looking fit to keep on fighting. Ain't never letting go of his old friend with a sturdy grip like that. He put some finishing touches on the business end of that thing. Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm. The city, its riches nothing but fragments now. give those dueling pistols a little extra kick. A pair of slinger pistols is just the ticket if a hammer's too slow. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way. Welcome to Grady Incinerator, home of the hottest wings east of Caelandia. In all seriousness, the incinerator was a dump, and it had a problem with peckers. Blasted things would swoop in and spread trash all around, until we started using fire. We couldn't just torch them all at once. We had to use restraint. The peckers were willing to fight tooth and nail with all that trash. You'd almost think those peckers like getting cooked. The cinders kept the city good and warm, made it thrive. You'd never guess those things been to the wilds and back. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand. Zolf said the calamity failed, and he's right. The Ura stand as living proof of that. At the heart of the calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. We put a lot of folks against that problem. Scientists, soldiers, spies, even me. We traveled near as far as the kid's going right now.
Loving on.
Most of our efforts didn't bear fruit.
Loving on.
Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our people.
Mrato, zatto!
It came from an Ura, a brilliant young scientist named Ven. Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer. With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnel shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tazal Terminals will be gone. This discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort. Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mancer's little science project, set it to blow up in their faces. Imagine how Ven must have felt when they finally made him pull that trigger. But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard.
Loving on.
Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. For now, Kid had little choice but to pick up where the Calamity left off. First things first, though, there's someone we figured needed rescuing. Zia. The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already. The Masons, we built the city strong. Now there's only two of us. The Slingers, the Wilds were their calling. There's something we had to do before going after that last shard. Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. They never saw him coming. He gets his hands on the care package I sent him. Zulten's hollow. They got their own security and everything. Pretty fancy, even. Still, they ain't used to having visitors around. They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Break enough of those things and the calamity rocks slink back into the ground. Those rocks are like tumors, the same kind the Ura planted in the Bastion. Well, the Ura must be in a panic right about now. Kid's done using the Calamity's power for now, but the Ura ain't finished. They even sick their little rattletail pets on the kid. Those rodents are just a bump in the road. By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. Most of the Ura's conductors are squared away in the middle of the hollow. The Ura keep hanging on to their barricade. After all, their homeland's not much farther. Those calamity rocks must be eating that place apart from the inside. Some of them are downright bewildered by what's happening. Maybe they know they've lost this. Lost to a kid. They underestimated us. Had us pegged all wrong. Yes, our people caused the calamity. But here we are trying to fix it. That makes us different from our people now, don't it? Shame the opportunity for civilized discourse is over. It's not the time to get reckless. Suppose old Zolf should have got to know us better. Zolf, the Ura, They have every reason to be angry. Beyond angry. But when this is all over, it'll all be water under the bridge. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. There's nothing standing in his way no more. All those dreams, snuffed out in the calamity, we'll bring them back. Way out there on the edge of the world, that's where he finally finds you. But it ain't like Prosper Bluff this time. Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you weren't kidnapped. No, ma'am. You just had to see what happened to the Ura. To your own people. You had to see if everything Zulf wrote to you was true. Sure you didn't drop that twangy thing on purpose? Just to see if he'd go after you? They lost everything, didn't they? But they just keep on fighting like that's gonna bring it all back. I don't need to see what happened to the Ura. I'm trying to undo it, remember? The country, she's all to pieces now, but still looking good. The conscience, we haven't lost everything, long as we have that. That'll spice things up next time he gets in trouble. It wasn't fixed, it was unbroken. Bold brandy is thicker than paint. Makes your skin feel as tough as knife bark. Once the kid gets that last shard from Zulf, it'll all be over. No telling where the kid is now. But he'll be alright. Got his lifelong friend to keep him company. Just needs to get that shard from Zulf and come on home. The calamity hit the Tazal Terminals hardest of all. You know why Zulf went back there. The place was his home. All his old friends and family were there. Taken by the calamity. Zulf must be there all alone, just waiting. You know what's funny? Well, Zulf's waiting. We're waiting. All of us are waiting for a kid. Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right?
Pass this out. Right, what's that? That's it.
But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this. When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. This disease the Earth planted in will go away. Zealandia will be whole again. Everything will be back to normal. Everyone will be all right. Problem is, we'll all be gone. But we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. That's the power of the Bastion. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity. The way things were before this story. You be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way. if you could have another go at him. No mistakes. Anyone you've ever heard? Everything you've ever done, you could do it over. Wouldn't that be grand? Well, I guess there's nothing more to say.
Brasilis, that's him.
Who am I kidding? Look. There's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place, but that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it. So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is... I don't know. You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's alright. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us. Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around. The weight of the calamity, it's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go. Bastion does have another function, strictly speaking. If ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores, and we'd take off away from here. You know Zulf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you? Zulf and the Ura, all they want now is to see the Bastion fall. Zulf dedicated his life to a lasting peace between the Ura and Zealandia. wipe the Ura out. Zulf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kids. For Zulf, this ain't a personal matter. It ain't a simple matter of pride either. It's such a shame. That's life. Things for sure. Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zulf all the way home. Kid saved Zulf once, but I don't think he made the same mistake. I wouldn't. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright. You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you? Kid's probably dealt with Zulf by now. He reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days? Hey, kid. Get up, kid.
Ow.
Come on, that ain't funny. I say get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk. The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions. Don't be shy now. Hey, kid. You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you.
I made it. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world.
It's finished. Now, sit tight. It'll be over soon. No matter what happens next, you done good. I suppose all that's left is to try and remember this moment. The Bastion's gonna take us back to a better time, before any of this. Might be we'll forget everything you done, and each other. Though after all we've been through, I find that hard to believe. So long, kid. Maybe I'll see you in the next one. Ceylandia, we're coming home.